Blockbuster day for the Supreme Court. Newly minted Justice Neil Gorsuch could be the key vote. We want to bring in Judge Andrew Napolitano right now, Fox senior judicial analyst. Judge, good to see you.
You have to forgive me. I'm still laughing about the unicorn coffee.
That is funny. I know.
Names are unbelievable.
I know. We got the Frappuccino on set, so you might want to try some later.
Right. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. How delicious.
Oh, my God. Not a good color. Let's talk about this case that focuses on church versus state.
Okay.
Neil Gorsuch is...
So the state of Missouri decides to offer money to every school in the state to repave playgrounds with a non-skid, softer surface to enhance the safety of children. We're talking about grammar school playgrounds. And every school in the state applies for it, and every school in the state gets it except those schools that are owned by religious institutions, because there's a clause in the Missouri Constitution which prohibits the state from aiding any religious institution, even the secular part of it, you know, a playground. So this church sues the state of Missouri, and it loses all the way up, and the case is appealed to the Supreme Court. Before Justice Scalia died, the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, and they're going to hear it today. So the issue is, does the refusal of the state of Missouri to give money equally to all schools isolate religious schools and constitute antagonism toward them, or is it the type of neutrality between church and state that the federal Constitution mandates? Then there's a little odd twist. The new governor of Missouri says, I don't like the way the money's being given out. I think it should go to all schools, religious or not. So I think we should give the money to this school. Question, is there still a case or controversy when the school that's suing is now likely to get its money? All those issues will be before the court this morning. Here's why everybody's focused on Justice Gorsuch. Because when he was Judge Gorsuch, he wrote many opinions, including the famous Hobby Lobby one, which stand for the proposition that the government may not interfere with your religious liberties, and the government must treat religious entities and non-religious entities the same. Translate, most people expect them to be against the state of Missouri and on the side of this church. Translate, 5-4, against the state and in favor of the church. Obviously, that's just a prediction on my part.
Judge, this is important, though, because this goes back to school choices. We're starting to see more states implement education savings accounts where citizens can actually apply where they want the funds to go. So if I want to send my kid to a private school, it happens to be Episcopalian, then I wouldn't be able to get it or not. So this is
Wait a minute, your name is Kelly and you're Episcopalian?
No, that's a hypothetical. Obviously, Catholic school. Please, my uncle's a priest. I couldn't do that.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
It's Kelly with a C.
Baptize everything.
To your point, Monsignor Kelly, the Supreme Court has held many times that the states can aid the secular part of a school. I mean, if the school's on fire, the state's fire department can come. If it's a Catholic Mass in the morning and there's a huge number of people, like in the old days, and it's blocking traffic, the police can direct traffic. If the state wants to provide busing to students, it can do that. If it wants to buy geometry books, it can. It can't buy Baltimore catechisms, and it can't buy communion wafers, but it can help the secular part of these religious entities.
Judge, quick question. Could this backfire on religious entities just in the way that if they are able to get federal funding like this, let's say you have an administration or something that is not very, favorable, doesn't behave favorably toward faith-based institutions, and they threaten to withhold federal funding on some of these things if religious institutions don't comply. Is there that risk?
Most of the laws that govern, for example, employer-employee relationships have exemptions for religious institutions. So the Catholic Church can insist that its priests be male, even though other employers couldn't insist on it because it has a religious belief, a religious impetus for that. So there often are exceptions to the way the government must treat religions to keep the government from interfering in the religious aspect of the religious group.
Neil Gorsuch going to be the swing vote on that?
I think he is.
Wow.
I think he is, and it's remarkable. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons that Donald Trump put him on the court. This very subject matter on which he has extraordinary expertise and has demonstrated courageous leadership when he was in the appeals court.
Let's quickly get your take on what went on in Syria and obviously North Korea in terms of the president's foreign policy. What's your take?
My take is to look at it from the legal and constitutional point of view. So if the President of the United States wants to use military force, there are certain preconditions. Is it defensive? Has somebody attacked us? Is somebody about to attack us? So in the case of Syria,
he's got that authority.
He has the authority to make the decision, but he has to make the decision consistent with the treaties we've signed. Excuse me. So North Korea is rattling a saber. We're going to harm the United States. They have a missile that can reach Los Angeles. They have missiles that can reach Hawaii. They certainly have missiles that can reach South Korea, with which we have a treaty, and missiles that can reach Japan, with which we have a treaty. Can we take out those missiles preemptively? Answer, yes. We can do it legally and constitutionally. Syria is a different story. The president may not have liked what happened. Nobody does. But Syria is not a threat to the United States. It hasn't attacked the United States. It's not likely to become a threat to the United States. It's a member of the United Nations. We can't attack another member of the United Nations without UN approval unless they attack us first. Two different foreign policies, two different actual, in one case, Syria, potential, in another case, North Korea, use of military force. Two different legal analyses.
Yeah, really good breakdown there, Judge. Great to see you. Thanks so much.
Pleasure, guys. Monsignor, see you later.